Hi, it's Pete. Welcome back. I've got another good one. It's called, it's by Vincent Peale. Enthusiasm Makes the Difference. It's an old classic. And this one is probably underrated just because of the fact that the topic sounds kind of trite, but it's a very good book. And I'll just give you a few takeaways here. Um, Hit that like button and comment if you have comments or any suggestions. Put them in there. Put them down below. It helps the algorithm. All right, let's get going. 26. All right, let's see here. All right, first point I wanted to tell you about was the as if principle. Now, this is nothing especially new. What might be new is for many people to actually put this into. We've all probably heard of William James, the eminent psychologist from Harvard, and his writing about the as if principle, which many people may have heard of. It act if you assume. Shakespeare put it like this: assume a virtue if you have it not. William James said, act as if. If you want to have a certain virtue, act as if you have it, and you'll start to feel it. If you want to have a certain emotion, act like you have it, and then you'll start to feel it. If you want to be enthusiastic, act enthusiastic, and you'll begin to feel enthusiastic. The Bible says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." So now we probably know the source of these other authors, where they got this idea straight out of the Bible. That would be Proverbs. Uh, okay, let's move on. So act as if you have it. All right. Next point. Now, he talks about Frank Bettger, the famous baseball player. Now, Bettger was this is a story about. Bettger was basically a pro baseball player who was fired because he had no enthusiasm. He lumbered around the field like he didn't care, so they just fired him. And Bettger's coach told him, "Hey, look, if you want to, let me give you a piece of advice. Because if you ever want to work again, if you look like a bum out there. If you want act like you have some passion, some enthusiasm." So Bettger took that advice to heart, and he did get another chance to try out for another baseball team. And he went out there and he acted with enthusiasm. His goal was to act like the most enthusiastic person that they had ever seen. And that's what he did. He went out there and like a man on fire was out there playing, and he got the job. Not only that, he got an 800% raise, all because he was acting enthusiastic. And he ended up getting injured eventually, and he ended up in the insurance business. And he had a similar problem, which is that he didn't like insurance that much. He was depressed because he wasn't getting sales. He was but ready to quit. And then he remembered what happened to him in baseball, and he decided, you know what, I'm going to act enthusiastic just like I did in baseball. So he went to his next sales presentation, and he acted like he was super enthusiastic. He was so enthusiastic he was pounding on the table, which seems ridiculous, but that's what he did. And he got the sale. And the other key was you need to keep seeing the people. So he was seeing the people and he was acting enthusiastic. Bettger became the greatest insurance salesman in history, and that was one of his keys. He would go to daily mass every day, and he would act enthusiastic, and he also was focused on. He also was, of course, focused on what was the key motivations of the people. In other words, he was giving people what was important to them, not just what he was selling. So there's a couple of stories. Moving on here, few more key points here on enthusiasm make the difference by the Vincent Peale, the famous preacher and public speaker who wrote The Power of Positive Thinking. All right, next point. He writes, and a factor that keeps it perking is an irresistible goal, a fascinating objective, a consuming purpose that dominates, motivates, and will not let go of you. So we have to have, if we're going to get enthusiastic, we've got to have a fascinating objective, a consuming purpose, a goal that will not let go of you. So we need to know exactly what we're working towards and have a clear goal and a magnificent obsession. It'll be a lot more easier to get enthusiastic if we have that sort of a focus. All right, next point. Every business organization should have a vice president for constant renewal. Okay, people go to a motivational seminar and they get psyched up. Okay. And then a week later, they're back to it's business as usual again because, it fades, right? So he's saying every business organization should have a vice president for constant renewal. You got to keep that enthusiasm going. And we can be our own uh, constant renewal expert. But we need to keep going back for more so that it doesn't fade. In fact, this channel is offering more on a regular basis. We're just getting going here, but we'll be here. 40. All right, next point. When you have something you really believe in, then you can put the amazing power of conviction behind your efforts. Conviction. That's a key word to keep in mind whenever we're doing anything. What's our conviction level? Why or why not? Conviction. When you have something really believe in, you can put the amazing power of conviction. That's a key point. Having been in sales and done thousands of presentations, let's say close to 1,000 presentations, many hundreds, maybe over 1,000 presentations, business presentations. I can tell you, conviction is so important. Without it, you're floundering. All right. Next point. As a well-known athletic coach remarked, it's the all-out, not the half-outs, who become the top performers. So as Peale points out here, well, as he quotes this well-known athletic coach, it's the all-outs. In other words, the people who are just out there kind of fooling around for maybe trying to have a little fun. No, it's the all outs, the ones who are giving everything, the all outs, not the half outs, but it's the all outs who become the top performers. So anyway, this book, Enthusiasm Make the Difference. It's loaded with ideas. That's just a taste of it. So there you go. Talk to you soon.